Hey everybody, how are you?
Good.
Great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk Teen Titans. It is surreal to me that it is 10 years. That's nuts, and it's such a beloved property, and such a, the characters have really, I think, just become like part of mainstream pop culture in a lot of ways. At least this take on the characters, so to speak. Um, with the fact that we're going to get this whole like marathon and people are going to be able to watch every single episode all in a week, do you guys ever go back and watch some of the older episodes and see like how far it's come? Do you reflect on that at all? Is it kind of surprising that it's become this big of a beloved property? What do you guys feel about that? Pete, let's start with you.
Well, creatively on the team, we definitely always go back a lot, either just to farm certain animation, and just honestly curious of how sometimes we're just curious to see how the show has grown visually. Um, but yeah, no, man. Yes, it is a surprise that we are here 10 years later. Especially for kids animation, man. A lot of these shows last 2, 3 seasons and they're out. So for us to be pushing 9 and here 10 years later, still strong, man, it's an absolute blessing. And it's all thanks to the fans, man. We work hard on our end, but it's the fans and our audience that keeps us strong and relevant, that we keep on finding, you know, that we've been on long enough that our old fans have grown and we've found a whole new crowd, which is thanks to them for keeping us here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
we hear that at cons all the time. People say thank you for my childhood, and they say, I used to watch this when I was a kid, and now I'm watching it with my kids, from the OG Titans to this series. And, I think because they kept the same voice cast, people really fell in love with us as a whole, and we all really love each other, and then that translates. And I think Go is just so much fun. No one can argue. Like, Go is like probably the most fun show you can watch. It's not annoying, it's not afraid to make fun of itself. And all the crazy like educational episodes, and the jokes that, I mean, I don't know how y'all get away with half the stuff you write, Pete.
Yeah.
But we have so much fun playing these characters and working together. And I think, we all authentically love each other so much. And I think that's another reason why it translates.
Scott?
There's not much more I can add to that, except I'm just so grateful to get to keep doing it. It's just so much fun. And I just really feel like the writers continue to push the boundaries and expand what's possible to do on the show. The animators continue to surprise me in joyous ways, like, wow, look what they did to my line reading on that, or to Greg's line reading. And to give you props, Pete, a lot of times as voice actors, we'll get an idea for an ad lib or a different take on a line, and we're like, hey, can I try this? And Pete's answer is 100% of the time, yes. That doesn't mean that line always works or makes it into the final, but trying something crazy and outside of the box is always welcomed, which is great. So it's so much fun to do.
Well, and because you mentioned it before, Tara, that like it really comes across, the characters come across as a family, and that's so important for Teen Titans as a property and as a team. That's always been one of the founding principles of that team. And it's so funny because when people see you guys at cons or panels, that dynamic like persists, like that. It feels like that anyway. It comes across on stage and through the camera that you guys have really kind of become a family on the backside as well. Is that really the case? Has that kind of
100%.
changed over the years?
We love each other so much. We've been through so much together, celebrations, grief, marriage, divorce, children, life. Like, we all love each other. Even if we haven't seen each other for a bit, if one of us called each other and said, I need you, we'd be there. We really, really love each other. When my mom died, Scotty wrote me the most beautiful handwritten 2-page letter about what it's like to lose a parent. And you know, we're just there for each other, like in every single way, and we authentically love each other and we authentically delight in each other. You know,
Yeah.
when Scotty talks about improvising and doing different things, we laugh so much during those recording sessions. That love is so real. You couldn't fake that kind of love that we have for each other. And for
Yeah.
the whole team, it's a collaborative process. We love the writers, we love the animators, we love everybody that's involved. It's a huge team that goes into making these shows so wonderful.
Yeah. A lot of the times, the voice actors kind of get the bulk of the credit, but we're nothing without our writers and animators and producers and the creative team behind it. But to piggyback on what Tara said, you do sometimes hear casts of shows doing press, and they say, "Oh, we're like a family." We truly are. We've had like this text message chain that's just been going on
Forever.
forever and ever and ever. We're always texting each other, either like heartfelt stuff or stupid, silly, funny stuff. Or
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Congrats on the baby.
Yeah.
Well, and Pete, you mentioned before that, like, for 4 years, 5 years for any animated show is a huge milestone, because a lot don't make it. 10 is something, beyond that. And one of the things Titans always feels like is relevant without trying. it never feels like it's always grasping irrelevancy. It's always just kind of it's able to tap into the pop culture, stuff that's going on, or it's just the way like a younger generation acts, like it just feels like it's never trying too hard. How do you guys achieve that? Because that's an impressive feat.
You know what, man? A lot of us on the show, and let me answer that question, but just giving you just a little bit behind the scenes. One of the things that is beautiful on Titans, and it's by design, is that we don't put any of our departments in lanes, man. So if you're a character designer, you have a story idea, come and pitch it to the writers. You know what I mean? Like, you're an animator and you've got an idea for some design thing. Like, so to that, we have so many people on our crew that are constantly so in that, in the game with us, that we stay, everything stays fresh, man. And the show is, and listen, man, like, much respect to Warner Brothers and DC for allowing us to do this, but the show has transcended comic book superheroes. Like, we can fight a big baddie in one episode and, teach you about healthcare in another, and it's not weird, right? I mean, we had to earn our time there. We couldn't come out the gate with that, and you'd probably be scratching your head. But yes, 10 years later, we can air those episodes back to back, and you're like, I'm on board. How we stay relevant, man, again, we're all huge fans of pop culture, be it through music and songs and just like whatever the dumbest trend is that's happening. And, if it is ridiculous to us, then we'll throw it in a show or subvert it somehow. And but it's such a massive effort. I mean, even the actors, dude, I'll get texts all the time like, yo, we should do this episode about this. I just ran into this thing. So it's like, we'll get ideas even just from this phone call. And you'll say something, I'll be like, oh, that's funny, and I'll jot it down.
Oh, for sure. We should do a Titans on Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah. So I don't know if I answered your question, man, but we're huge pop culture fans, and we happen to also get the opportunity to make a show. So we inject a lot of that stuff into the show when we can, or if we think it's funny.
Well, and Tara, made a comment that, like, not knowing how you get away with some of the stuff, and you said you've had a great, relationship with Warner Brothers. Has there, is there a list somewhere, a vault that of like ideas that got shot down, or are they been pretty open to pretty much anything along the way?
I'd say they're pretty much open to everything. Is there a list, or even just honestly fully written scripts that got like canned right at the last minute? Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Now we want to know what those are.
Yeah, and they're funny, but they sometimes I've crossed the line on, you know, be it, you know, somebody was like, I don't know if we should make fun of that character too much, or we're trying to have a relationship with this other studio. Let's not take jabs at them so hard.
That's funny.
You know, I mean, it's all in fun, dude. Like, we
Right.
never write anything malicious, but you know, Titans does try to push it as far as we can. And sometimes they're like, hey, pump your brakes, man. How about you shelf that one? I'm like, all right, fair enough. But yeah, no, most of the time, like I said, Warner Brothers and DC are so cool with stuff, man.
I mean,
Yeah, I
if they're
feel
cool
like
with
it-
peeing in an elevator, they're probably cool. with
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the bar. That's where the bar is. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Exactly.
Also, it feels like it would be a rite of passage, you know, a lot like when you get, you know, parodied on SNL or something. Like if you have a something where you have a shot taken in a Teen Titans thing, it'd be like, oh, that's awesome. That's forever ingrained in animation. You know what I mean? It ain't going anywhere. No, that's amazing. You know, Scott, for Robin, it's, you know, that's such an iconic character, and you know, there have been obviously various iterations of the character along the way. You know, what are you most proud of with, you know, your Robin, because it has easily become a favorite? And what's the craziest thing you've ever heard someone say about your Robin at a convention?
Oh, wow. Well, okay. The proudest thing, I hate, this is going to feel like I'm bragging on myself. I really don't want to do that. But when we were recording the original series of the original Teen Titans, Marv Wolfman came to a recording episode. He's one of the creators, for those of you who don't know, the two people who may not know this, he's one of the creators of the original Teen Titans comic book. And he came into the studio and heard us record, and he took me aside afterwards and he said, I'm so happy that you're playing Robin. Your voice is what I always heard in my head every time I was creating the comics. So that's like probably one of my proudest moments of doing Robin. Craziest thing, I don't know that the crazy, this is one of the most impressive things I saw was on social media maybe 4 or 5 years ago. A fan had full color sleeve tattoo of our Teen Titans Go characters. Raven, Robin, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Starfire. I was like, wow, that's
Cool.
I mean, that stopped me in my tracks. It's just like respect, man.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is that ever, is it impressive at first, or is it like, oh man, like someone has me tattooed on their arm?
Well, it's not me.
Like,
It's this guy, and it was all impressive. I mean, to tattoo something on your body, it's got to mean something to you. And that was a lot of hours. He's got a full color sleeve. That's a lot of hours of sitting under the needle for to show respect for our show. So respect back to him.
Yeah, especially because I watched my wife get a puppy paw tattooed, and I got nauseous because that's I don't wanna do this. Sorry, I'm weak when it comes to like needles and all that stuff. I can't do it. So much respect for getting the full arm.
Yeah.
You know, and Tara, you know, same for you. You know, your work with Raven has been, you know, so well received. And you know, what are you most proud of, and what is the craziest moment to you? You know, you could also take, it was the full team, so you could take the tattoo as well if you wanted to. But
Well,
is there
I've
one that
seen
sticks out for
many
you?
tattoos of our show and of OG and also of my name. Actually at a con recently, this guy wanted me to sign his arm to get it tattooed, and he already had my name tattooed on his chest.
Wow.
So I see that a lot. And I also have a wonderful story about George Perez before he passed. And Scotty, he said all of us. He's like, you're my Raven. Whenever I read the comic, and people say that to us at cons all the time. When I read them, I hear your voices, and that's very special to be such a part of people's story. And when we go to cons and people say thank you for our childhood, I think the most touching moments are Raven. She means so much to so many people. She's so important. So many people say they felt like they were the only person like that till they met Raven. And probably the most touching was, you know, a lot of people cry when they meet me. But like this was like next level. This girl was dressed as Raven, and she was talking and talking and talking about the show, and her mom was bawling, like really bawling. So I went over to check if she was okay, and she said, my daughter's severely autistic and she hasn't spoken in 5 years. And when she heard you were coming, she hasn't stopped talking. And Titans means so much to her. And it's like, wow, when you see what we've done and how it has real world impact, we feel so, this is going to sound cheesy, but it's true. All of us will tell you this, that we feel so blessed and special that something we do can bring people joy and bring people together and bring families together and communities together and people that didn't have friends till they started talking about Teen Titans, and they can laugh together. And I think it's just, we're so lucky. What a wonderful job that we get to have fun and touch people around the world. It's pretty special.
Man, yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. And it's also, like we mentioned before, it's a generational thing, right? Because I have adored the show, and I have a 3-year-old little munchkin who is starting to get into the world of superheroes and jack my Power Ranger stuff off my desk. And she's going to be introduced, and so it just never ends in that way. And it's just an amazing legacy. So credit to all of you and the work you guys do. And Pete, I know I got to let you guys go. But what are you most proud of when it comes to the series? And also, what can you tease about, the future? I don't know, stuff happening, stuff going on. What can you do here? Huh? Give some.
I'm so proud of all of it, man. I'm so proud of our team. A lot of them have been with us for the 10-year run, and that's kudos to just the just the love that they have for the show. And more than proud, man, feel like echoing what Tara said, like feel incredibly blessed and lucky to even be here talking to you about this milestone of being on air for 10 years and going. What can I tease? Well, look, man, season 8, we are hitting our 400th episode. I can't tell you what it's about, but we're doing something we've never done before, and it's something we've been wanting to do for years and years, and now we are finally doing it. So that's going to be big. And honestly, really excited for season 9, man. Season 9 is going to have like a bunch of new fun stuff. Again, we haven't done. We're really trying to expand our universe so we can continue for another 10. And yeah, man, season 8, there's a lot of fun stuff coming, dude. We get to go and spend some real proper time in Azarath with Raven and get to see what home life is like down in Azarath. So that's going to be really exciting. And yeah, man, stay tuned, dude. There's some stuff coming.
The 400th is going to be pretty sick.
Yeah, 400 is going to be sick. We're really excited about that.
Well, I am honored to be the one to get to talk to you guys celebrating this milestone. And, who knows, maybe I'll get the chance to do it in another 10. So I will, fingers crossed for that day. And you'll be oh my God, really with this dude? I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for taking the time, and seriously, all the best success.
Wait, can I give a shout out real quick?
Absolutely.
I'll give a shout out to the other fan who has my other character Birdarang tattooed on him. Not even Robin, but he got a Birdarang tattoo. That's off the chain, yo. Word.
I love that.
Oh my God, you're gonna have all your characters like replicated on people at some point down the line, right?
That's true.
It's gonna happen. Amazing. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
you.
Thank you.